So I know I'm uploading twice in a row on the on this conference channel, and I know a lot of you on that channel are waiting very hard of Dunces and Dragons Part 2. But and I promise I'll make that tomorrow. So, anyway, I am going to explain some weird video games I've played. A few of them being for babies, and one being just meh. And so what? So that meh game is something that some of you may not like. Scooby-Doo First Frights.
Well, that doesn't sound that bad.
On the DS. Yes, a few. Yes, I played Scooby-Doo First Frights on mobile, as in the DS. I know it's a DS version because I looked up the DS version soundtrack and I got console version and soundtrack. And that's because I needed the title screen music to interpretate myself of hearing spooky music for a week before The Truth About Zombies aired. You know, for fun. And since I couldn't find the soundtrack, I ended up having to actually turn on my copy of the game. So, let's start talking about Scooby-Doo First Frights on the DS. Now, I know this game doesn't have much remote features to it, that you have to read every caption once they appear. But I never really cared about reading the captions. All I wanted to do was play a bunch of levels for fun. But I wouldn't just play it in the traditional way. I'd play it in free mode, to where you can choose what character you play as. And I liked that feature a lot because you could play as the bad guys. I didn't like it that much because the enemies you could play as were minimal. There are some enemies in the game you can never play as. Like the crab boxes. Probably because they summon more crabs, and you wouldn't want to do that to yourself. But even enemies not like that you couldn't play as. Like those the first ever enemies you come across in the second world. You can never play as them, ever. Well, I'm pretty sure you can. I think me and my brother were just never put up that much of an effort to unlock all playable characters. So anyway, the whole point of Scooby-Doo First Frights originally was a food festival. Why? of weird concepts, but this is weirder. Also, not having the element of two or one shot enemies like in Night of 100 Frights, which was nice. This game was a beat 'em up, like Unmasked. Which, watch what happens if you take a good game and make it a beat 'em up. Scooby-Doo First Frights also had the thing to make it to where you needed that explore mode where you choose what character you play as to beat the game 100%, because they put certain stuff in certain levels that the characters you're playing as right now can't deal with.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistake. Got nowhere to run. The night goes on.
Other than progress abilities, each of the Scooby Gang also has their own method of attacking, which for Scooby, he and Daphne, it's a kind of close combat. But for the others, it's ranged combat, which Fred's way of ranged combat, I hate. I hate throwing bombs at my enemies. And when it comes to ranged combat, I think Velma and Shaggy are better with this in this game. If you want me to play Scooby-Doo First Frights DS edition on camera, then I'll go ahead for it, and I don't even need an emulator because I still have my Scooby-Doo First Frights cartridge. So I can play it at literally any time. So for this exact job, F you, emulator box. Now the next game I'm gonna talk about that was weird. I literally owned a PS2 game. It had no enemies. There was one story. It was kind of a collect-a-thon. And it was Go Diego Go.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I seriously owned a Go Diego Go platformer, no enemy, collect-a-thon PS2 game. And I'm gonna say, it's actually pretty decent for a baby show game. And like, it's one of those games that even after your adventure you can choose what level you play at, which the Legend of Spyro in New Beginning failed at horrendously, and probably because it had enemies. So, games where there's one story who can let you replay levels are the ones that don't have enemies. I solved a mystery! I better go tell the Scooby Gang! Just kidding. But this Go Diego Go game was decent. It had unique forms of platforming and exploration. Some involved literally going into holes and jumping into a log and popping out in another. That was a cheap way to make sure you didn't have to glitch past that rock, since this game is two-dimensional. And also, the fact that you're saving dinosaurs in this game, it's based on that one Go Diego Go episode. Oh, I love dinosaurs. I only love dinosaurs because Land Before Time exists. The only thing I find bad about this game, though, will come after another fact about it that seems cool. There are some segments in it where you control a boat, or some kind of boat or glider and you can actually move left and right. Instead of it just being another two-dimension thing. That was interesting, and you can even do races with them in co-op. In fact, even without co-op, they're confirmed as races. What the what? Anyway, the one thing that I don't like about this game is that Diego is super chatty when playing. Sometimes I felt like he would never shut up. I get that it's supposed to be a game for her 4 and 5-year-olds, but for older players, the mute button exists, so, you know. Now, I also have a PS2 Dora game that was basically the Ice Princess episode. Dora Saves the Snow Princess, decent episode to make a game out of. And I don't even need to explain the mechanics of this Dora game to you, because in terms of it and the Go Diego Go thing, this Dora game controls the same way. The fact that Dora is super chatty when playing, the fact that it's a 2D platformer collectathon, and that there are things that they say are races, even though it's just getting from point A to point B. Though I do have another Dora the Explorer game on the GameCube that controls completely different. This time it's a 3D platformer. Also no enemies, and this time the episode they made the video game out of was Journey to the Purple Planet. Decent episode, good. Probably good game. Plus, unlike the Diego and Ho and Dora PS2 games, Dora isn't super noisy when you collect a gem. Unless you're riding the spaceship, then every time you collect one, you just release Satan himself and the tortured souls from the fiery pit of hell. So, I think every time I would go to that spaceship section, I don't want to collect a gem, and suddenly all the Jurassic Park movies start playing all at the same time. So, anyway, this GameCube Dora the Explorer game is very different from the actual episode. Instead of flying straight to the planet, facing problems along the way, apparently there's a gate blocking the Purple Planet, and they have to go they have to go to 4 other colored planets to get the keys, which is green, yellow, blue, and red. When I was young, I got horribly lost on the red planet. And then when you finally unlock the gate and make it to the purple planet, they gave the purple planet its own soundtrack, even though you never ever get to explore the place because the story ends there. They could have just made an extra segment for the game, like they had to explore the purple planet to find the rest of the tribe. But no, the ending was rushed. But for a Dora the Explorer game on the GameCube, pretty good game, 8 out of 10. Pretty good game, 8 out of 10. And I could, if I'm bored, I would replay the story. Now, if someone decides to do a Let's Play of these 3 baby show games, then tell me if I inspired you to do so, to see how bad it really was. Except those 3 games for baby show games, not that bad. 8 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.